So you saw your wish list plant and you thought you were getting something that looked like this, but really you got this. Keep watching. I'm going to talk to you about how to not get scammed. Alright, so you saw your wish list plant. You really wanted it. But you couldn't afford it because the market price is ridiculously high and it's becoming super hard to get any rare aroids in because at the moment everyone is a crazy plant parent. So what do? You listened to my video, you got an import permit, and then you started doing your own research and you ended up with a mess. Okay, so what do? How to avoid it? Now, here's the thing. Buying plants from overseas is almost like dating. If it looks like a duck, quacks like a duck, probably a duck. So my first question would be, how are you guys meeting? Now, if they contacted you via Instagram, most of the time it's going to be Instagram, stalk them, lurk them. Do what you would normally do if you were dating. I mean, I found some nurseries, private sellers who reach out to some people and they're like, oh, hi, I'm a nursery in so-and-so and I have really cool plants and here's my price listing, and they just spam you. I'm not going to show you what it looks like because it's just, I'm not here to expose anybody, but when I get contacted by a nursery or a private seller, I do diligence. I check out their Instagram, I check out their photos and see, okay, are they legit? Are they not legit? Does the person look like a trustworthy person? And yes, you can tell if someone is trustworthy just by looking at their photo. Now, a lot of times, at least for me, my supplier doesn't, you know, expose all of his boxes or how many sales it is that he has. It's fairly lucrative, I find. I never really see him post or advertise because he's so good at what he does. He doesn't need to self-promote like that or reach out to other people. Now, when you're getting plants from these overseas private sellers, one of the things that I said that you needed was a phyto certificate. If they are unwilling to give you one, that's an issue. If they charge you like a ridiculous amount to get one, also that's ridiculous. To safeguard yourself, I would say please pay them over PayPal if you can, because sometimes I know that people say that PayPal is, you know, in favor of the seller, but honestly, things like this, if your plant ends up looking like this, it's dead. They're gonna give you back your money, or at least you can fight it and try to get all your money back, if not all. Most of the time, the seller, at least a good one, he'll be willing to refund you back your money. He has a policy and he knows what it is that he's doing. When you're buying plants from somebody overseas and they're unwilling to send you photos of what your plants are gonna look like, if they're unwilling to do pretty much anything and they're telling you, oh, don't worry about it, you need to worry about it. Don't send that money. Please don't send your hard-earned money over to them. I've also noticed that when sellers, how do I say this politely, when they drop their professionalism. So for example, the way that I speak to you is very different from how I would talk to my girlfriend, especially when we're talking about plant drama. So, you know, it's very different. If they drop that professionalism and say inappropriate things, just don't do it. Because I feel like a lot of these scammers are majority of the time males, but you know, there are females out there who do scam too, and they just kind of like see who's willing to take the bait and they'll go ahead and send you dead things. I have seen some photos where they had just like snipped off the top portion of the plant, so they just sent like the leaves and like literally no root or nose or anything that's salvageable. That's really messed up. Also, before they send anything out to you, you're able to ask them to show them all the documentations in order to ensure that it's arriving to you. So my seller, what he would do is I would inquire, oh, do you have these in stock? Can you show me pictures of them? And then later, before he ships it out to me, he sends me all of my paperwork, so I have a copy of it. Because here's the thing, when your plants are being shipped to you, there's several methods of it arriving to your house. One I had mentioned was Dragon Courier, which is the easiest way. It goes from the nursery in the air to your hometown, and then it gets delivered to you via UPS. I'm pretty sure it's UPS. And then the other way would be air cargo, where you would have to go and self-claim that yourself. So you're picking it up at customs. So if you don't have the proper documentation, how are you gonna pick it up? See? Now the other way is DHL Express, and they would, you know, send it via mail. It gets here within 7 to 10 days, and then after that it gets delivered to your house. I will mention you can self-claim. I believe once it gets to customs, you're able to call DHL and say, I want to self-claim this, and then you would still have to go down there. You would still need your documentation in order to show them this is what I have purchased, this is what I'm getting, and then they do whatever it is that they do over there, and then you get to take your plant home. But either way, documentation is a must. If they are unwilling to provide that, then I don't know, you're being silly at this point. But the thing is that if it's your first time, you don't know. You don't know the headache, the struggle of importing plants because you're excited with, you know, your plants are coming, oh my God. But sometimes, I don't know, I just feel like if they seem shady and they come off a little bit weird, trust your gut. I feel like scammers are so, they're ruthless. And you know, I've heard horror stories of them giving out your information to like other people, and they're slandering you. So you really need to protect yourself. You really need to just, I don't know, do your diligence and look up reviews. There's lots of reviews on the internet, whether it be in a group review or Reddit, or just, you know, just Google them. Ask them to provide, like, I don't know, maybe documentation of them shipping stuff out to other people. Mind you, sometimes they don't conceal the information, but you know, it's the nature of the game. Unfortunately, it's like I said, it's very much like dating. You just really need to know what it is that you're looking out for. Certain things that they say you got to be careful of, because otherwise you're just gonna end up with a bunch of crap. Who wants that? And you know, once you go through PayPal and you're trying to get back your money, it's like it's just a headache. Which is why this year I've opted to go through Orchid shows. So like I had promised, if you are following me on my Instagram, you would have seen that I did an unboxing from Equigenera. I was really impressed. I really was. The plants turned out looking pretty good. The size was spot on with what it is that I look for in a plant. And I don't know, they're currently just sitting in water and they're doing fairly good. I'm going to show you a couple that are currently my favorites. Here is a Forgetii White Stripes. Look at this beauty. There is 2 in here. I have a new leaf being pushed out. And I'm happy with this. So I was very curious to see what the heck the difference is between a Forgetii White Stripes versus a Forgetii Silver. And now I need a Forgetii Dark Form. So that'll be next on my list. But here you go. Here's a comparison of the silver and the stripes. So you can see the veining is very different. It's more blurred. And this one is much thinner. And it looks very stripy. Look at the roots on this guy. beautiful. This is the reason why I love getting I love getting anthuriums, because the roots are always so chunky and I'm not scared of it, I guess, when I'm putting it into soil or moss. The roots just always, they're not fragile looking is what I'm trying to say. So love. And my other favorite from this little haul, I think it was little, it was moderate, is this Regal, Anthurium Regal. Look at it, it's beautiful. I'm so happy. And although it is a chunk, for now it's a chunk, it gave me a dinky little root, but I mean, it'll be fine because it's not squishy. I also got a Magnificum, but this is like my new favorite. So the orchid shows are a great way to get your plants. How that works is basically they send all of your aroids to the show, and then you coordinate with the person and they give you your plants. I received an email and we coordinated a time and I drove out there to pick up my plants. Done. Not a big issue. Now with Aquaflora, they were delivered to me through plant runs, which is perfect because I didn't have to sit in traffic. However way it is that you choose to get your plants, please just be aware that there are scammers out there. Unfortunately, there's really no way of safeguarding yourself. You just have to really trust your gut and just be a better people person so that you can read them. A lot of times I find that if they're really pushy and very aggressive, they're probably not somebody that you want to work with. Personally, for me, I don't want to work with somebody who's very pushy and aggressive. If there's no open communication, definitely not worth it. If they're unwilling to provide Phyto certificate, not worth it. They should be showing you your plants before they ship it out to you. If they're unwilling to do that, also not worth it. I mean, imagine just, you know, having like an order, like a really large order, and then everything is dead or everything is the same because, you know, they failed or you failed to ask questions. And don't be scared to ask questions. They should have all the answers because they're supposed to be professionals. They've done this before. You haven't. So you really need to safeguard yourself and think about little things. Whether it's from the way they speak to you, whether it's the pictures that they're giving you, please do your research. There are some people out there that will send you a picture and you're gonna be like, holy crap, that is beautiful. I need that in my life. But here's the thing, that picture isn't theirs. So if you are able to Google that image, just no, don't do it. And a lot of times, at least with my seller, he's open and willing to show me his collection. So I do remember one time he had asked, oh, did you want to see what I do have? It was getting kind of hard to continue to communicate via text, and it's just much easier to, you know, pick up the phone or FaceTime somebody. So what he ended up doing was he sent me like a video of the nursery and showed me what it is that he had in stock. And that actually made it a lot easier because I was able to see exactly what he had in stock. I'm able to pause, screenshot, send it to him and tell him this is what I want. So if they're just gonna show you a random stock photo, just don't even do it. Just block and delete them and move on. Like, there's many ways of getting your plants. Unfortunately, now with the way the market is, it's ridiculous. It's very expensive now when it used to be fairly cheap, but we're in a pandemic. So, well, I guess another way of saying it is like we're in a plant-demic. Did you like that? So what I would suggest is start with a small order, have it shipped to you, see the conditions of the plant, and then tell them, hey, this was great. I really enjoyed getting plants from you. Can you set aside a few more? And let them know so they can send you nicer plants or send you more plants. At least that way you have a relationship with someone and you built on that, versus just, you know, ordering 100 plants and getting stuck with a box of dead things. You know, that's just not fun. Nobody wants to deal with that, and it's a headache, honestly, when it comes through customs and borders. Just don't do it. So to reiterate, to recap everything, your seller, just be careful. So when you're buying plants from overseas, think of the other options that you have. Look at the pros and cons. Are you willing to risk, I don't know, X amount of dollars for these plants? Do you trust that person? Do they seem trustworthy? Use all the tools that you would use when you're going on a blind date or a Tinder date. Use those tools. If they seem sketchy in any way whatsoever, just put your money away and move on. I know that times like this we're becoming stir crazy and we want to shop and do certain things, but it is what it is. And the same thing goes for when you're buying a plant from a local seller. Like, you know, sometimes there are shady sellers who get their imports in. They don't tell you that it was an import. They didn't acclimate it. And then they sell it to you for a market price. And you take it home and it's looking fab and you're, you know, taking selfies with it. And then 2 weeks later it starts to die. Remember me telling you how to acclimate your plants? Yeah, it takes about 1 to 2 weeks until your plant starts to decline. So you really need to be sure and ask these questions, especially if it's a local seller, because there's some people that just want to make a quick buck and they will just say, oh yeah, no, it's been in my collection for like 3 months. But meanwhile, there's only like 2 leaves. If it's been in your collection for 3 months, there's going to be new growth. If there's no new growth, I'm not buying it. So be careful, regardless of where you're buying your plants, whether it be overseas, whether it be from a local seller. So I hope you learned something new. Unfortunately, these things do happen, but at least, you know, you're not alone, and there are ways for you to get your money back so long as you do it the right way through PayPal. One other thing, don't send your money as friends and family. You're not safeguarding yourself that way. Make sure that you put it down as a business or a goods and service, so that way if anything were to happen, you know, you do have something. If you put it as friends and family, they're just gonna be like, oh, well, we're friends and family and it's cash. So, you know, there's things like that that you need to be careful for. So please do your research. Don't get catfished by a pretty plant. I mean, mind you, I don't think I've had an experience where I was sent dead plants on purpose. It was just really bad timing, and you know, the seller needed to safeguard themselves too, which is unfortunately they can't control the weather. I made a bad call. But when someone sends you just the same plants or just all dead plants, you know, please put it in your Facebook group or review group so other people know. Avoid them, because if it's happening to you, it's happening to other people, and it's just an unfortunate thing, but it is what it is. Some people are just looking out for themselves, and there's nothing much we can do about it. In any case, head over to my Instagram channel so you can see my unboxing of Ecuagenera. I think it was a fairly decent size haul. I do have another one coming in, and happy to show you that one too. So stay tuned. Follow me on my Instagram, leaflet.co. If you're still interested in a repotting mat, please go to my Instagram. You're able to place your order with me. Currently right now I am providing shipping to the States as well, so it is worldwide. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye!